Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 770 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Tacomalda, and I am joined today, unsurprisingly, by Chris DeBona.
Hello.
And Rob Roseboom.
Hello.
Gentlemen. How are we doing this lovely day?
You know, I'm at least one of those things.
Right? I'm always glad when the tomatoes start showing up on the Discord.
Oh, there's tomatoes showing up?
You know, the Discord message says throw tomatoes as a reminder to click the Discord tomato emoticon and also smash that like button.
Smash that like button.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Find us on Patreon.
Hit that notification bell.
Oh, good.
And
We'd
now,
like to thank
a smooth segue to our
like
sponsor.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, the Grass Lake Foot Stomper.
That checks out.
You know, they're going to have a documentary about that guy on Blumper soon. You know.
Oh, yeah. If there's one thing that Netflix has taught us, it's that people will watch a documentary of literally anything.
Yeah.
This is true. Have you checked out the one about the richest dog in the world and the sex orgies? I'm not kidding.
The thing is, I know you're not.
I believe you.
Oh,
I
God.
believe you.
Oh, good. Well, okay. The first thing that we got on the list is Microsoft's latest dark pattern. Somebody screenshotted.
Wait, before we talk about this, are you sure you don't want to install Edge?
Oh, please, please let me install.
Hey,
Edge.
there's some Edge. Have some Edge.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, it's just another. Like the user interface is designed to make it appear as if you must upgrade to Windows 11.
Yeah.
And there is a keep Windows 10, but it's tiny and in the bottom of the screen. It's the comment that I read that got me the most was like, if they're showing ads on your computer, do you even own your computer? Like, that's your operating system, you know? That's infuriating to me.
Yes, it is.
I was actually very excited yesterday because 2 days ago I got gas, and for the first time, and I cannot tell you how long, I went to the pump and was not like shown captive ads on that stupid little screen.
Oh, I hate that thing, man.
Ugh. Prisoner ads, man, they're the worst. It's really that Black Mirror episode.
I agree.
It is. Anyway, Chris, you're running Windows 11, right? You've got
No. Well, yeah, I've got one device that has Windows 11.
because you need it if you've
I
got
don't run it as
the
often.
if you've got the fast and slow cores, you need it, right?
Yeah. If you have the Intel fast and slow cores.
Well, isn't
I-
Intel the
AMD,
only?
Well, no, AMD's got little and big cores too.
Do they?
It's my understanding. Yeah, because
I don't think that.
I've got an AMD machine that doesn't give a crap about Windows 11.
No, I don't think that there's fast and slow cores on Ryzen.
Really? Oh, okay. Shows what I know. Yeah. So that explains a lot.
There are fast and slow cores on the M1s, the Mac, whatever they're calling their chips, but they aren't running so much with the Windows. Anyway, this made me grumpy, and I wanted to rage and shake my fist like an old man at the universe.
That's completely reasonable.
We've also got, we talked a few days ago about the radioactive capsule that was lost in the outback, and they found it. So good.
Sorry, I dropped something.
You know, the podcast listeners didn't even know.
Yeah.
Well, I respect them too much to not tell them.
So did someone have it, or did you find it out in the wild?
Daredevil had it.
Or
Uh-oh, we're losing Rob. I was actually grumpy with us because we discussed a radioactive canister last week, and at no point did we mention that is the thing that gave Daredevil his superpowers.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of superheroes.
That's
Who
true,
got
but every issue of Daredevil from like the Frank Miller run like starts off with like a little line about the radioactive canister, like that specific phrase. And whenever I was reading the story, I kept thinking that it was all about Daredevil. Did you know that in theory the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles got their superpowers from the exact same canister, and that's like the
No. It's even more than that because Splinter is actually
Stick.
Stick. It's like a joke on Stick. So
Mhm.
like the whole Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are basically a playoff of Daredevil. They like loved it.
Yep.
So there you go.
But I just like the idea that the radioactive ooze that infected the turtles was the canister. What came out of the canister that blinded Daredevil, and that wasn't
Yeah.
canon. That was just that was what the creators intended. But because they originally were an indie comic, they obviously didn't state it literally.
Yep.
We've got a weird one. There's been a bunch of stories about the balloon that the Chinese are floating over Montana.
Yeah, you know what it was? So I know you guys probably don't watch the show, but Yellowstone is like super popular. It's like more popular than NCIS, right? So what I think happened is they really, really wanted to get a leg up on the next season. So they sent up their spy balloon over the most boring place in America. So
All right,
there you
I'll buy it.
Yeah, that might be. I was
go.
just surprised that they are still using those. I mean, aren't they concerned about the whales when their spy balloon goes down over the ocean? I mean, that is a pretty big
Because
thing.
they're really into whales there.
Yeah.
They're really the
Well,
pandas of the sea.
Sea pandas.
Sea
yeah.
pandas.
I think those are manatees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that checks out.
Oh, the huge manatees.
That checks out. So I guess I was having a hard time. Like the first time I read this, I was like, well, what are you gonna do? We flew spy planes over everybody for decades.
And
Like,
Also,
I
we
would
have
say,
these things called satellites.
yeah, I
yeah,
was to say.
Yeah.
I was going to say, and we probably still do, but we probably don't do that a whole lot. We have satellites for that now.
I
The
would.
thing is, it actually looks substantial. I don't know if you saw the photo of it.
Yeah, there's pictures of it.
Is it in this article?
It's in maybe other articles, but I didn't see that one. If it was in this one, there was a picture taken from the ground that was really blurry blob.
Yeah.
I guess we don't have a banana for scale, but I don't know.
Of course, maybe it wasn't a balloon at all for those of you who've seen Nope.
That could be. Spoilers
Well,
for Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Secretly, he was a Chinese agent. Now, where's it? Chinese.
And maybe that monkey from the sitcom was driving.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that I was kind of wondering about. Maybe it's not like a spy balloon. It's just like a couple of kids who got into shenanigans and they're up there like, help.
Shenanigans.
We've talked a lot about the jetpack.
What cracks me
guy.
up is the Chinese are like, yeah, that's ours.
Yeah. Well, I've never really been clear on what the rules are for we can fly an SR-71 at 100,000 feet above you or a satellite at a few miles. Like what? I mean, at some point, what's the difference?
Well, first of all, we actually don't do that over China. And we did it over Soviet Russia for a while. I don't know if we're doing it over current Russia. But it came close to starting another war
A few times.
back during Reagan. And I guess Thatcher called them up and said, "Will you just not for a little while? That'd be great. Thanks."
Cool it.
Yeah, because the Russians called the UK and they're like, "Yo, we're gonna nuke you if another one of those stupid planes
Right.
flies over our country." Right.
You know,
So it's what I think is really funny about this is the ICAO rules for paying when aircraft goes over your country. So this is what people are really into. They're like, oh well, if you fly over our country, you owe us some money, right?
Sure.
That's our airspace, right? So what I'm picturing is like some Bozeman, Montana resident who's like, well, somebody's gonna pay. So he's like sending a missive off to the Chinese embassy. So your balloon's over my property. You owe me the following.
My house is like right.
This is funny to me. Okay.
Yeah, my house is like right under the helicopter path between Michigan and Lansing hospitals.
Yeah.
So with some regularity, we get helicopters directly overhead, which we assume are just people doing the heli ambulance thing. I wouldn't mind a piece of that. I mean, you're already paying thousands of dollars for the ambulance. It seems like they could, throw me a $5.
I am in the flight path to the Air National Guard place in Kazoo out there.
Oh yeah, that place.
I have helicopters couple times a week at least, flying by.
We get
So,
really low jets here sometimes too. It's weird. Like
why are you coming down on the jets like that, man?
I mean, I just don't understand why there are really low jets over Ann Arbor.
Well, you've got the Ann Arbor, the little GA airport not so far from you, right?
There's like 3 airports really close to here, but I don't understand why military jets are flying low.
just keep an eye on things, you know.
I mean, how many Chinese balloons have you seen over your house? It's because of those jets.
That's true.
Thank them for their service.
They're keeping the skies
Rob.
clear.
Come on, Taco.
That's
you,
right.
You don't think that your skies are cleared by accident, right?
No, it's
Right.
coincidence.
That's your tax dollars at work.
Freedom just doesn't happen, Rob.
Right. Freedom has to be earned.
Freedom isn't free.
Yeah.
Or quiet.
That's for sure. That's for sure. It's actually kind of surprising. I bet we've had a few go over while we're recording even, but I guess my microphone isn't sensitive enough. Let's see. We've got a story about splitting seawater, and they've apparently got a cheap way to split seawater, and so now we can make hydrogen and energy, right? I mean, this is producing power.
Right. Now I didn't go and actually read the study, so I don't know how much water, what volume they used. And if I assume their system is they're just doing it in a test tube or a small container, right, to get the results. But if they could scale that up, it would be super cool, because you don't need to purify the water before you split it anymore, which you had to do before. You can just literally throw a pump into the sea, run it into your lab, and convert it right there for the same price as converting purified water. So
that'd be pretty cool. Can I put that in my backyard?
I would like to see it replicated before we. It's always necessary to treat impure water to a level of water purity for conventional electrolyzers, meaning not this process, which increases the operation and maintenance costs of the processes. I'm like, yeah, but they're saying they're using a not scarce electrolyzer.
I'm out of my depth. Speaking of out of my depth, Chris, you recommended a couple weeks back a documentary by Bobby Broccoli.
Yes, that was great.
And
right?
I've been going through that guy's channel and watching every single thing that he has on there, and every single one of those videos is great. But a lot of that, like reading stuff like that, is like I realized like that's the papers that they're in that he's referring to in those documentaries are out of my depth as well. I don't understand the physics in these things, and it just reminds me of how we need the experts to be smart and good and truthful.
I think these are all true.
No, the documentary that Bobby Broccoli did on the Lena image is really cool.
Yeah, that was a classic.
And now I just finished the ones on the Bogdanov twins, and I feel like we covered those guys on Slashdot back in the day, but I never.
Oh no, we almost certainly did. Yeah.
It just seems like that would have been in our wheels because the story seemed so familiar.
Yeah, no, we did cover these. It's just he's going over old material, but he does such a lovely job.
Yeah, with a really with a good sense of humor, and I do kind of.
And he introduces the corner cases of it all really well. You know what I mean? He's like,
my only beef with him is that I got beef on the Super Collider one. He would do the thing where they were like, and now Congress is going to vote, and then he would do like his animation in Blender to show the do, and I'm like, just say it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to watch your animation for 5 seconds. Just tell me. I'm an adult.
It's his duck pins, okay?
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. He does advertise that he did it all in Blender. Good for him. And the SSC one, it looked like those were like one big long render, like the whole like hour-long documentary. It's like there doesn't really cuts. He's just like sliding and panning from spot to spot in his diagram. It was neat. Really well done.
Yeah.
So we've got the latest Twitter drama. We're unsurprised here that on February 9, Twitter will be cutting off free access to their API, which I guess we knew because like Tweetbot and a bunch of they've been shutting down API stuff. The comment that I read, which was probably a good warning, is if you've used Move to Don, which
Move
is
to
the
Don.
Move to Don, the tool that tries to detect your followers that have migrated to Mastodon and
Oh yeah.
it's like an automated tool. And when I did it, it got so I follow like 150, 200 people on Twitter, and it got like 30 or 40 of them. It just
Nice.
automatically pulled them over, and that has actually provided for me, at least on Mastodon, a usable substitute for Twitter. I'm missing 3 or 4 people that I kind of miss, and also a couple of people that I muted. They're
Yeah.
back. It's like, I follow a couple of people that I keep muted. I like you, but you talk too much.
You're like, oh, that's why I stopped using Twitter.
Well, Neil is actually one of them. When he's on the promotion trail,
Oh,
I do
you
the
really?
mute for 30 days thing on him, or the mute for a
Wow.
week. Because when he's on the promotion trail, he's like 500 tweets a day, and he's like, "Oh my god, go write a book." You're-
He's just writing it through Twitter.
yeah, he's just writing it the slowest possible way.
He's hiding it in steganography of 280 characters.
That could be. That checks out.
It doesn't check out.
No, it doesn't. But what a weird thing, right? I mean, Twitter started off where the API was like the thing, you know, like that was the thing, and now and it only was like the human component to it was only a piece of it. Like it was a tool where your stuff could talk. What a weird world we live in, guys.
What a weird world.
Weird, wacky, wild world. We have so we could watch a little bit of the AI generated Seinfeld. They're generating it in real time on Twitch now. And I will say it is not particularly funny. But you can see like what they're doing with it.
Okay.
And it's kind of neat. Like you could see how in a couple of iterations, you can actually unmute it.
So, Larry, I heard you are going on vacation next week.
Yeah, I'm going to visit some relatives in Florida.
Right?
I can't. I
No,
just can't.
Yeah. What
Sorry.
have you done? What have we done?
What have we done?
Well, you know, you remember the extra normal cartoons?
Yeah, right.
You know, where you just put in the script and it would have the little broccoli person talking, and yeah,
it's essentially
like-
doing that, but I guess it's doing this on.
it's doing more of the writing.
Yeah, I mean, it's doing it. I assume they generated it based on all of the scripts of all the episodes of Seinfeld.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is the characters, and they kind of like wander around the room. It's weird. But you know, it's the future, man. I've noticed how my kids.
Just how long do you think it'll be before this thing actually reproduces Romeo and Juliet? That's my question.
Right.
Do they have enough monkeys?
I mean, forget the monkeys, right? We have this doing it now.
Yeah.
In real time.
You don't need that many monkeys, right? Because you're only writing Seinfeld. That's pretty low. It's a pretty low bar. You don't need an infinite number of monkeys.
It's easy
Take that back.
I mean, I really like monkeys, so you know.
Anyway, I was thinking about how my kids' sense of humor is like it's a lot more about non sequitur, and like a lot of that could probably be generative in a way that a lot of like maybe more absurd comedy isn't. I don't know. I feel like you probably could get to a point where you could do this effectively without too much effort if your goal was to get to that sort of absurd comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. Let's see. There's an article about the updates, the James Gunn DCU stuff, and this is the first one that I've read that actually has like some information in it, which was interesting. The surprise to me is that they're going to be developing The Authority.
Really?
As I wasn't sure if it's a film or a TV show. A lot of it was sort of how they're going to try to make movies and TV shows not be like different tiers. They're just going to try to embrace the format of each, which is obviously how you should do this now.
It was surprising to me which projects they were taking up. A lot of them, I think are kind of questionable about who will watch it, but who knows? And it was interesting to me that almost all of the last projects are all TV shows. It looks like
Yeah.
up first is like a year or two of movies, and then 2 to 3 years of television shows. So
But I saw Swamp Thing on the list, so I
Yeah.
know
yes,
Rob will be happy.
I know that reboot they did was really really good for a little while. Well, until they turned it off.
Until the wheels. See, I never watched it.
It was actually it was good. They just they stopped production, so they never the show never got bad. There was just like 7 episodes or
just gave
something
up.
before they decided to stop.
Hmm.
But they're doing 2 versions of besides Swamp Thing. They're doing 2 versions of the Dark Universe stuff, including the Monster Commando thing. That makes me cringe a little bit,
Mm,
but okay.
yeah. I don't know. I'd like to see a Green Lantern TV show, but I don't know how you do Green Lantern effectively on a TV show budget. I feel like you're gonna have to put some cash into that one.
You just have them make the same 4 mental constructs each time, right?
I
One of them's
suppose.
got to be the giant green hand. So
Yep.
so we got the green hand in the can.
Yep.
Hand in the can.
Classic green train that hits you out of nowhere. So there's that.
And it looks like they're gonna do the Brave and the Bold. So we're gonna get Damien as Robin. Eh.
Yeah.
It is weird that they're gonna have 2 Batmans.
Yeah, we should really have Cliff here if we're going to talk about this stuff. It seems unfair.
Yeah, but he's
Also Booster Gold. Like
I don't even know what that
yeah,
is.
that's a weird one, man.
that is a weird one.
So
So in
it
the comics,
here,
he's like a super rich dude from the future who comes back with technology and pretends to be a superhero.
yeah. Imposter syndrome as a superhero is how they describe it in the article, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that sounds awful.
Wasn't that kind of Kang though? Didn't Kang come from the future and like with advanced technology and
Yeah, but
it's a different universe, man.
Different universe, and Kang wasn't like I'm a superhero. He's like I'm from the future and I control everything. This
Yeah.
guy is like no, I'm a superhero.
Trust me.
Gosh, ads, dude. I'm gonna install every ad blocker in the world.
Ugh, dude,
Good
that's
luck.
true. Now that you
Won't
don't,
work.
now that you aren't funded by ads, you can join the rest of us.
Yeah, right.
Might I recommend Piehole?
Yeah, maybe.
Piehole's pretty great. The one bad thing about Piehole is that you might be aware that a search engine, a pretty popular one, prioritize sponsored
Bing?
links in their search results.
Hmm.
And it goes so far that if you search for the name of a popular business, and by popular business, I mean almost any popular business, they have no choice but to pay the extortion fees in order to make sure that their ad appears above their competitor's ad. So if you search for Home Depot, the first result is an ad for Home Depot because heaven forbid Lowe's buys that slot. And so if you use Piehole and you click on that ad, it gets blocked because it is, of course, an ad. So you have to generally scroll down past half a screen of ads.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry, sponsored links in order to get to the actual content. It's almost as if the things that they're doing are of questionable moral value.
What?
What,
How can that be true?
a business is interested in making money over making things convenient?
I don't know, man.
Well,
That seems weird.
that's
I mean, that
weird.
seems really cynical. You know,
Yeah.
you
I
should
thought-
you should look
I
inside
thought
your heart, Rob Malden.
I thought the internet was going to change everything.
Nope.
Oh, hasn't it though? I mean, please
Yeah.
think of all the things the internet has changed. Pizza delivery,
Other food deliveries.
dating.
For a little while, you could download any music you wanted
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty
for
cool.
nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. I mean, now you can download a lot of music, but most of what you want you can't find because it's on a different blumper.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, with music, it's not so bad, but with TV shows, it sure is a pain. There was a show we were trying to watch the other day, and it took us a good 5 minutes to figure out what platform it was on.
Well, it's just a matter of time, though, right? That the same thing happens with all that did to cable.
Yeah.
Eventually there'll be bundles.
Well, Blumper already has the, if you put in something that they don't have, they tell you which streaming services to go to, and they'll send you right to that page.
Blumper's way ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I mean, they are. They really care about their customers in ways that other people don't.
That used to actually be one of the single best selling points of the Apple TV is that it had a universal search that actually worked across all platforms.
After Blumper took over Apple's operations, I stopped caring about Apple, man.
But once they got into a pissing match with Netflix or somebody, so now the Netflix shows don't show up in the search results. So you search for a show and it's on the most obvious platform, but it's like, I don't know what that is. It's like,
it's Blumper.
Yeah, it's on Blumper. It's just infuriating. Watching these corporate silos hold users hostage. We live in a post-apocalyptic hellscape. Shakes man old fist at sky.
Yeah, be more convenient, internet.
Yeah, really
more convenient.
Don't selectively turn on and off your APIs to make my life worse.
I would have to type in, where can I watch name of show?
Yeah.
I mean, to find things now. What the hell's that?
Ugh, and then I got to scroll
past.
I'm
living in hell.
I got to scroll past 7 sponsored ads because those aren't going to work with my ad blocker. Oh, dear God. I watched a movie that I'm going to recommend, but neither of you are going to watch. It is called...
I'm going to watch it now.
All right. It is called Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. It was an Oscar-nominated Best Animated Feature.
I'm not going to watch it.
Jenny Slate is the voice, and Isabella Rossellini is another voice. And it's the story of the world's most adorable sentient seashell that wanders around an abandoned house and is very cute and deals with loneliness.
What kind of shell is it?
It's not really a real shell. It's got an eye kind of coming out of one side. It's an hour and 20 minutes long. It's super short. It is the sweetest thing I have seen in a very long time. I highly recommend that if you're feeling down and you just want to feel something, inside, maybe give it a shot. I really liked it.
When I get like that, I watch The Road Warrior.
Yeah.
Nothing cheers me up like Lord Humongous. I got to be honest with you.
He's kind of great.
That guy's life is perfect.
Oh, yeah.
He's got it going on. Fashion, women, cars. Not a lot of gas.
Yeah. Well, he'll fix that.
Eventually. The other thing, I guess, media-wise worth mentioning is that Wakanda Forever is now on streaming, and I don't know if either of you have seen it yet, but...
yeah, it's been on my Plex server for a couple of weeks now.
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I was too busy getting laid off to indulge in a 3-hour-long funeral.
Yeah. It's definitely
I kind of want to see his ankle wings, though. I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's like all the Phase 4 Marvel movies, which is it is half boring and half really fun.
Yeah.
And you don't get to choose which half.
Right.
You almost can turn off the entire last action sequence because it is so boring.
Yeah.
Like it's the same problem actually as the first Black Panther. Like I really actually like the first 2/3 of Black Panther, and then the last action sequence, you're just like, I am so bored now. I'm watching a cutscene from a video game, and I just want to be done.
It's not really good if you find the action sequences boring. It's really the opposite effect.
Yeah.
Opposite of their intended effect.
Yes. Yep. Did we have anything else? Is there any good media, any good movies?
I still haven't seen The Last of Us, the most recent one.
Oh, it's so good.
I know, that's what I've heard. Best hour of television ever filmed.
I love Offerman, right?
Yeah.
I love that guy. Yeah. And it is really good. It's just, and I haven't played the game, and maybe this it's because this is related to the game, but like as far as the story of this world goes, this last episode is great and and provides virtually nothing to the narrative of
Right.
the story other than just giving you one more sense of loss and one more little sad story about the end of the world, which, as I understand, is sort of the gist of the game.
Yeah. I think
So
I think
in that respect, it was great.
the point of this episode was to give you Joel's motivation. Like he lost Tess. Oh, I'm sorry. These are
Sure.
spoilers. That it wa- he this was it
I
was
haven't seen it.
yeah
I
it
haven't
was
played the video game, but I know that Tess dies. But yeah,
yeah. No, it was
Yeah.
like this was the moment where he embraces his destiny or whatever. He accepts the mantle. What's the screenwriting term for when you
Mhm.
take up the mantle? You accept your task or whatever. There's a shorthand for it when you write your screenplays.
Yeah.
But that's what it was. But God, that episode was good, and I cried. But you know, I also I didn't cry during Marcel the Shell, but there's a moment where I wanted to.
But you're just too much of a monster to.
I am powerful and strong and in
Well,
control of my emotions.
Rob's trying to build up his man CV,
Mhm.
crying
My
during
man
a
CV. Yep.
movie, crying during a movie about a seashell. Just well,
That's one step too
you
far.
can't add that.
Nope. But you gentlemen know me well enough to know that I will cry at a lot of movies. I'm confident in that. Do we have anything else on our list today?
Don't think so.
Nope.
All right, gentlemen. Then let's brush the tear off of my cheek and say farewell to Rob Roseboom
Goodbye.
and to Chris DeBona.
Sorry, I'm on such a low ebb today.
Yeah, it's all right, man. It's all right. We'll bring you up next week.
Yeah.
That was episode 770 of Geeks in Space. I was Rob, Commander Taco Malda, and we will see you next week with more of this shenanigans.